Thank you, Joanne, and thank you for stealing the first 10 minutes of the 11 minutes I was going to do, but that's okay with the comments. Joanne made a very sensible comment, which was that Delaware Prosperity Partnership is rather a long name, so like her, I'm shortening to DPP very quickly as of now. We head the state's efforts to attract and grow and retain businesses, and as Joanne pointed out, it's the NOF members' one-stop shop for locating or expanding into the USA. And it has been our honour, and it is a true honour, to headline these three Energy at Balanced Future events, even as this third one seems a long way from the last two in Liverpool and Hull back in the summer. In my opening remarks to the first of those summer events, I recalled that NOF members over the last 25 plus years have contributed numerous innovative ideas, and their outcomes from those ideas have made a difference as the world has searched continuously for new ways to provide energy that matches the requirements of both economics and sustainability. At the July event, I gave some examples of firms in the energy sector who've grown benefiting from Delaware's business-friendly climate based on an economy which is built on innovation which goes back a couple of centuries, not a couple of decades, but a couple of centuries. We at DPP and our partners support companies of all sizes, in all sectors, to incorporate and locate in Delaware. As a brief background, and it is brief, I'd like to play a short video featuring my friend Newton Buchanan. Thank you.
Delaware's location couldn't be better for anyone looking to do business on the East Coast. Less than 20 minutes away from the Philadelphia airport, right on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. You could do a morning meeting in New York or DC and be back in time for lunch. Delaware has a variety of options for locating your business. Class A high-rise office space. How about an industrial warehouse? Wilmington even has a major port. That's a big boat. Another resource Delaware has a lot of is talent. As part of the Philadelphia metro area, the largest in the country for academics, you have access to graduates from over 100 colleges and universities. Industry veterans. And nationally recognized workforce training programs. Talent is the reason why all these companies call this place home. You get so much here, all at an affordable price. So when you're thinking of a new home for your business, before looking at the usual suspects, consider your options.
Thank you, Newton. And as he pointed out, one of the keys to Delaware's success is it's at the center of the largest consumer market in the United States. There are 55 million people within a 250-mile radius of the capital of Delaware. Currently, 1.6 million businesses call Delaware their legal home. And since Christmas, at least 3 Northeast firms, all connected in some commercial way to the energy sector, have added to that list. And whilst others are working towards that process, even as we speak today. In fact, I just had a message before I was asked by Joanne to turn my phone off, telling us of one other company who's actually arriving in Delaware on the 3rd of April in order to incorporate their business, and they're based in Newcastle. In just the last 60 months, which is the start of DPP, the state has created thousands of jobs by attracting over $1.6 billion, that's $1.3 billion in real money, in inward investment. Given the global economic landscape during the pandemic, by any measure, this is a remarkable achievement, and it was led by my friend here, Kurt Foreman, as the president of DPP, who's come in to be with us today, and who is chairing one of Joanne's roundtables later on. It's Delaware's geographical position that places it right in the middle of the rapidly growing US East Coast energy market. Since we met last July, the state's joined with new neighbouring states to apply for federal funding to establish the Mid-Atlantic Clean Hydrogen Hub, which of course has been nicknamed MAC2, and is committed to pursuing creation of regional clean hydrogen generation along with this, the University of Delaware has recently launched a research centre for clean hydrogen, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So let me briefly talk about innovation, because that's a strong theme both for Delaware and for these events. Delaware's interdisciplinary innovation ecosystem spans all the major industries and boasts top-performing incubators, co-working spaces, professional organisation, and makes the state an ideal collaborative US location to launch and grow any business, including yours. The state is ranked in the top 10 of the 2020 Millikan Institute of State Technology and Science Index, and that takes some doing. And to support all this innovation from across the globe, there are numerous programs and activities within the state. For example, in the offshore wind sector, there's the Offshore Wind Skills Academy, where University of Delaware leads an intensive 5-day session where professionals teach professionals. Participants would include those expanding their scope or responsibility within their company, as well as suppliers, note the word, supply chain, financiers, and state officials making decisions on offshore wind and those seeking to enter the industry. That same university has an offshore wind training program, which is GWO certified for basic training program for offshore wind industry and for firms and individuals who are working in the mid-Atlantic region. In the area of robotics, promoted both by the University of Delaware and by the Delaware State University, is Project Able, a fascinating project about underwater robotics. And it's focused on advancing those robotics technologies and testing industry capabilities for offshore wind applications and beyond. We've had a conversation already this morning with somebody who's in that space, and robotics cross all of the silos of the energy sector, not just those things that you think of almost as a norm, which is just the turbines and their footings. As mentioned earlier, the Centre for Clean Hydrogen was launched in October 2022, I beg your pardon, and aims to focus the innovation and creativity of academics and private sector expertise towards accelerating the transition to clean energy by reducing the cost of hydrogen and hydrogen-related technologies. To advance this new energy frontier, and it is a frontier, the centre will focus on developing better materials, designs, manufacturing processes at scale, and it's all under one roof. This includes developing and testing water electrolyzers, carbon capture, we talked about that with Andrew earlier on today, and heavy-duty fuel cells, with the ability to bring cleaner transportation, energy storage, and metals refining methods within everybody's reach. A quick note here for 2 other great resources for members in Delaware. There's the Centre for Plastics Innovation, which is focused on addressing the global problem of plastic waste. Its research is on satisfying that need for lightweight and resilient materials without the environmental threat of plastic waste. And founded nearly 50 years ago, the Centre for Composite Materials, which is focused on research and education, and its mission is to find and develop new composite materials and develop those technologies to incorporate them into materials for new products and applications and help transition those technologies into industry in an economically sustainable way. That's just 6 examples of resources available to members across the state, and there are many more. Most importantly, of course, us, because we are your one-stop shop to come and find your way into the state or into the US. And those resources, those 6 examples I gave you, are available to all of you, indeed, embarking on building your business in this vital energy region. And vital it is, not just for now, but for future generations. With the world's population expected to be at 10 billion by 2050, the need for all of you to keep driving innovation towards balancing our future energy is not some airy-fairy indulgence, but for upcoming generations, it's a fundamental necessity. Delaware, I believe, and I've been around this sector since the late 1960s, I know, I'm getting old, represents the best place on the US Eastern Seaboard to bring your innovative businesses and future ideas to, and to help make a difference. as all of you and the rest of the world aims for energy to have that balanced future. Thank you very much.